Rivers State government has shut down the African Independent Television AIT and Ray Power FM operations in Port Harcourt. This is coming after the media organizations on its official X on Sunday announced that the state government shut down its operations through contracted telecommunications engineers accompanied by armed security operatives. The contractors disconnected the waves guard from the antenna on the marks while rigging were seen dismantling the marks, while the bulldozers were deployed to demolish the transmitter complex at the Communications Place Broadcast Center. The telecommunication contractors officials told organizations that they were working on the directive from the above to commence demolition on Sunday. It will be recalled that the state government had in March given 48 hours quit notice to the Communication Place, stating that the area has been mapped out for GRA Phase 3 Ozoaba. Convoy of Abia Governor Dr. Alex Otti has reportedly crushed a yet-to-be-identified man to death in Ohafia local government area of the state. Eyewitness said a speeding convoy of Governor crushed a man at the very popular Old Soldiers Junction in Ohafia, adding that the governor was in the area for the dedication of the child of his deputy, Ikechukwu Ometus, and was leaving the venue while the incident happened. And the remains of the victim has been deposited in a mortuary. The police in Ohafia is yet to make any statement on the matter. Police in Anambra State has arrested 2 robbers who operate on the Second Niger Bridge. The bridge has recently been noted to be a den of robbers, while vandals also seize the opportunities to vandalize some equipment on the newly constructed bridge. The police public relations officer DSP Tochukwu Ikenga, who disclosed this after the arrest of the robbers in a statement, said men of Anambra State Police Command attached to the Harbour Division last week nabbed 2 robbers dispossessing unsuspecting citizens of their variables on the Second Niger Bridge, adding that the police team, which was on a surveillance patrol on the bridge to prevent vandals from stealing expansion joints, were alerted to activities of the gang near the OBC end of the bridge. During that search and investigation, 2 diggers and 5 SIM cards removed from the previous stolen phones were recovered from the suspects, and while one of the suspects held from Enugu State and the other from Ebonyi State. The Commissioner of Police, CP Aderemi Adeye, commended the police team for its vigilance and courage in confronting the gang, while directing that the owners of the discovery SIM card be located with the view to assembling evidence for the successful prosecution of the arrested suspects. Lagos State government has taken to the medical care of Adebola Akin-Bright, a 13-year-old whose small intestine allegedly went missing at the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital in Ikeja. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos made this known when he visited Akin-Bright and his mother, Mrs. Deborah Abiodun, at the pediatrics ward of the hospital and appeared to the governor to probe the mysterious disappearance of their son's intestines. She claimed the incident occurred while her son was receiving treatment while management of the hospital had, in swift response to the allegation, affirmed that they did not willfully remove any organs or structure from Akin-Bright's body by performing a corrective surgery on him. This is coming after the victim has been previously operated on a private hospital in Lagos, but the governor, after listening to both the mother and the child and the doctor in the charge of the care, said what was paramount was to ensure that the life of the boy was served. Responding, Akin-Bright mothers expressed appreciation to Sanwo-Olu for the visit and for taking up the medical care of the promising young boy. Police command in Kaduna State says his operatives have freed 3 kidnapped victims at the Kariga Wusa area of Zara local government area. The command's Deputy Public Relations Officer ASP Amisa Hassan confirmed this in a statement issued in Kaduna State, said the police operative carried out the operation at the weekend. According to him, the success was achieved from aggressive patrol along Gara Diwa of Jiwa local government area while working on credible information. This is coming after the divisional police officer in Kaduna and local vigilantes group moved into the forest and forced the kidnappers to abandon the victims and escaped into the bush. He said he explained that the kidnapping was suspected to have been masterminded by the loyalists of the notorious bandits, late Issa Damua, a native of Zamfara, added that the rescue team were all from Keruga, Wusa, and had been reunited with their families. Mansa said the Commissioner of Police, Kaduna State, Mr. Musa Gaba, has appealed to the general public to always be alert to their responsibilities of giving credible information to the police, adding that the command was proactive and working tirelessly at all the times to protect the lives and property of the residents of Kaduna State. Ensuring a heavy downpour that lasted 7 hours at the Dankigari area of Suru local government area of Kebbi State has incidentally killed 3 persons. The chairman of Suru local government area, Alhaji Mohammed Lawal Suru, said, apart from the deaths of the 3 persons, the flood also destroyed properties worth millions of naira. He said that after the heavy rain, the water coming down from the mountain around the area of Kainjigari contributed to the flooding, while suggesting that the flood might be prevented if a concrete fence and outlet could be constructed around the mountains. He called on the people of the area to desist from erected buildings on waterways as well as discriminated dumping of refuge. You are watching The Transition on Atlantic Television Network. We return after this break. Welcome back. This is Transition on Atlantic Television Network. And now to the rest of our stories. Tribunals handling the presidential, governorship, National Assembly, and State Assembly election petitions are expected to deliver verdicts of President Bola Tinubu and 25 state governors. The panels are expected to deliver their judgment this month, and while out of the 28 states where the governorship elections were held, the results of the poll announced by the Independent National Electoral Commissions are being contested is in no fewer than 25 states. Most of the tribunals which were sitting in Lagos, Sokoto, Delta, Kano, and 21 other states as well as Abuja has reserved their judgment after the parties concluded their hearings and adopted their writing addresses in line with the practice direction for the election petition issued by the President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Monica Doban Messen. However, political parties and their candidates who were apprehensive about the outcome of their petition restored to players and other issues cautionary words and admonitions to the justice to do what is right. The Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Olukayode Ariwola, had in November 2022 one in 307 justices to handle the 2023 elections petitions, while an additional 39 justices were inaugurated on May 25, 2023, totaling 346. and they were expected to deliver judgment before September 16. By law, the 346 justices sitting on the panels were amended to hand down their judgment 180 days after the filing of the petition by the aggressive candidate, while Section 285 of the 1999 Constitution provided that an election tribunal shall deliver judgment in writing within 180 days from the day of filing of the petition. The Presidential Election Petition Tribunal has reserved judgment after the petitioners, the People's Democratic Party, and the standard bearers, Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, and the Labour Party closed their cases in June after calling 40 out of 150 witnesses earlier listed in their petition challenging the victory of the All Progressives Congress and the president. Following the declaration of the two-warning strike by Nigerian Labour Congress, some state chapters of the organized labor union have expressed their readiness to join the industrial action. Some of the leadership of the state chapter of the labor union said they have ordered their members to join the warning strike, which is scheduled to be held on Tuesday and Wednesday, September 5th and 6th, 2023. Chairman NLC Lagos chapter, Mrs. Agnes Esesi, said Lagos NLC would join the nationwide strike, while Sokoto State NLC Chairman Abdullahi Jungel also said the union in the state will mobilize members of the union in the state to join the 2 days warning strike. Similarly, the General Secretary of the NLC in Gombe State, Ibrahim Fika, said they have received notice of the strike, adding that they would join, while the Niger State chapter of the NLC said had gone into a crucial meeting with all its affiliate bodies. Nigerian Medical Association has urged state and federal government to activate emergency preparedness against the impending flood. The president of the NMA, Dr. Uche Ajinam, who discloses at the end of the association's National Executive Council meeting held in Owerri on the theme of this year NCE meeting, healthcare system in a depressed economy, said that some states are likely to be flooded following the release of water from Lado Dam in Cameroon. The states include Adamawa, Taraba, Benue, Nasarawa, Kogi, and Anambra, warning that those in flood-prone areas should be proactive, clean their drainage, and remove barricade on flood plans, while pleading with the government on all levels to assist these our fellow citizens in relocating. He also called on the states and federal government to quickly roll out palliatives for Nigerians to cushion the harsh effects of rising inflation with the attendant while high food price, adding that the country's economic base, which is claimed was not strong enough to withstand capital flight, was fanning the embers of medical brain drain. Urging Macamen's President Bola Tinubu for the huge confidence he has reposed in the medical profession by populating his Federal Executive Council with medical professionals, and also congratulated all doctors appointed into FEC with all other officials in appointive position, especially the Minister of Health, Professor Mohammed Patel, and the Minister of State for Health. The NAM president expressed confidence that the association's ambassadors at the Federal Executive Councils will excel, while calling on the other healthcare professionals to shed their swords, saying that the association under this leadership was keen in building a progressive consensus for a better health sector. And now to some business reports. Minister of Soil Mineral Development, Dr. Adele Aleke, says that the soil mineral will contribute 50% to the nation's gross domestic productions. Aleke, who stated this during the unveiling of agenda for the transformation of the soil minerals for international competitiveness and domestic property in Abuja, said that the ministry was poised to attract foreign direct investment to the country, adding that the ministry will focus on the 7 points agenda. According to him, this includes the creation of Nigerian Soil Mineral Corporation, joint venture with mineral multinationals, big data on specific seventh priority minerals and their deposits, while the agenda will create mine surveillance task force and mine policies, as well as the comprehensive review of the mining licenses. The minister said that the President Bola Tinubu has taken firm and courageous decision that has reset the logic of the Nigerian economic, adding that the removal of subsidy and the adoption of a single exchange rate were among the fundamental transformational policies of his administration. The minister said that the mining was a big business and the ministry would ensure that the Nigerian Salt Mineral Corporation was created, adding that Nigeria must assess its presence by replicating the strategy's position in the petroleum sector. Aleke said that the corporation would provide robust support for Nigerian businessmen seeking funding abroad of authenticate their investments proposal, adding that the ministry would introduce a security task force and mine police that will help this country combat illegal mining and smuggling. Aleke said that the new mine surveillance security task force would coordinate the mineral police and proactively address high-risk incidences of breaches of mineral laws, while the federal and state governments will be encouraged to allocate the precaution of cases against illegal mineral to the competent court, are stressing that the ministry would ensure that some effective area, such as geodata, weak implementation and enforcement for environmental safety, health, policy, among others, were effectively addressed. And now, to international tidbits. Africa Climate Summit has commenced with the theme Driving Green Growth and Climate Finance Solution for Africa and the World. The events championed by the President of Kenya, Williams Ruto, bring together 24 heads of state and the governments from Africa and beyond to the Kenyatta International Convention Center, Nairobi in Kenya. The summit aims to address the increasing exposure to climate change and the associated costs with a focus on Africa, and would also serve as a platform to inform, firm and influence commitments, pledge and outcome, ultimately adding to the development of the Nairobi Declaration. Invited speaker to the open session are the President of Kenya, Williams Ruto, the President of Comoros, Azele Assoumani, and Executive Secretary of the United States Framework Convention on Climate Change, Simon Stille, while part of the highlight of today's event in the opening section theme, The Power of the Potentials. The session set the stage for SCS and African Climate Week and would showcase Africans' potential in addressing climate challenges. It is also emphasized the need for the fairness financial system and highlights Africa's position on its head to the Conference of Parties 28 in the last week of November, all to the early days of December. Ukraine's Defense Minister Oleksiy Renitsko has confirmed that he is leaving his position. Mr. Renitsko has led the ministry since before the start of Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022. President Vladimir Zelensky announced Mr. Renitsko's dismissal, saying it was time for a new approaches in the defense ministry, while Europe, who run Ukraine's state property fund, has been nominated as Mr. Renitsko's successor. In a post on X, formerly Twitter, Mr. Renitsko confirmed that he has submitted his resignation letter to the country's parliament, while it has been speculated that he will become Kyiv's new ambassador in London, where he has developed good relations with senior politicians. The 57-year-old has become a well-known figure since the beginning of the war in Ukraine and has one internationally recognized. He has regularly attended meetings with Ukraine's Western allies and play a key role in lobbying for additional military equipment. The defense military said it shot down 2 drones over the Kursk region, which borders Ukraine, earlier on Monday, while the region's governor, Roman Rovgis, also reported that the debris from a destroyed drone has caused a fire at a non-residential building in the city of Karastov. Tens of thousands of teachers went on strike on Monday to demand better protection at work. They said they are frequently harassed by the overbearing parents who call them all hours of the days and weekends, insulting and unfairly complaining. Nan's sole cousin, Park Do-young, struggled not to cry as they strengthens their small, empty apartment, now home to just her goldfish. Her bed is unmade, and beside it sits a pile of drawings from the first grade students telling her how much they loved her. On the mat is a stack of library books on how to cope with depression. Park said his cousin has been teaching for little over a year, fulfilling her childhood dream by following her mother into the profession. So in the days after his cousin's death, which police quickly pinned on the recent breakup, Parks assumed the role of detectives and unearthed hundreds of diaries entries, work logs, and text messages. They revealed that in the months leading up to her suicide, Min So had been bombarded by complaints from parents. Most recently, one of her pupils has slashed another child's head with a pencil, and she has been embroidered in a hatred, late phone call and messages with the parents. This tragedy has unleashed a wave of anger for primary school teachers across South Korea. And now to entertainment news. Organizers of the Eddies Award have stopped winners of 13 categories at the 16th edition of the award show that the Cobb Energy Performing Arts Center in Atlanta, USA. Attendees and viewers across the globe were shocked when the co-host actress Osai Idoldara announced midway into the show that the ceremony has come to an end, with about 13 categories yet to be presented. No female award categories was presented before the event was abruptly shut down by 2:30 a.m. Nigerian time, while the categories that weren't announced include Best Female Artist, Best Recording of the Year, Songwriters of the Year, Best R&B Singles, Best Vocal Performance Females, Eddie's Viewers' Choice, and Best Eastern African Artist of the Year. Other are Best North African Artist of the Year, Best Southern African Artist of the Year, Best Central African Artist of the Year, International Artist of the Year, Best Alternative Album, and Best R&B Album. The closing of the ceremony midway has elicited mixed reaction on social media, while some commentators claim that the abrupt closure of the event could be due to limited time at the Cobb Energy Performing Arts Center. With the announcement of the winners of the remaining categories, Burna Boy now tied Rema for the most win, 3 awards each, while Burna Boy got 10 nominations and also won 3 of the categories he was nominated in. And that's the size and the package. Thanks for joining us. I am Immaculata Irikana. You can follow us on our social media platforms, Twitter at Atlantic TVNet, Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Instagram at Atlantic TVNet. Do remember that peace and unity are